Thank you for joining me on this special video broadcast. My name is Oladipo Clement. On this video, I want to continue again in examining the pitfalls to avoid when land banking, especially in Nigeria. Now, listen to me carefully. In my last video, I did lay some foundation. In this video, I just want to continue from where I took it up. Now, you must understand that some of these pitfalls are avoidable provided you recognize their existence, right? I have interacted with quite a lot of people who have gotten their fingers burnt, and as a result, they become, hesitant when it comes to land deals, right? In Nigeria. Nigeria is not like any other country around the world, and I can tell you for free, there are many well-meaning developers who have also gotten their fingers burnt for lack of this understanding. As a matter of fact, I'm speaking also from wealth of experience. There are properties that we have paid for that we can't even find. All right, there are properties we have paid for and we cannot even get close to those places, right? Simply because we were lied to, we didn't do some of the things that I'm sharing with you. So these pitfalls will not only guide you as an investor, it will also guide you even as a developer, because of course, there are 4 principal ways by which you can play in the real estate space in Nigeria. 1, you can be a developer, which is by far the most glamorous. Everybody wants to be a developer, and unfortunately, it requires deep pocket. It requires a lot more systems and structures, for you to really be able to deliver quality service to your clients, all right? But that is one way by which you can play in the real estate space. Number 2 is by being a regulator, and by being a regulator, we mean you are working in conjunction with government agencies, all right, in regulating or sanitizing the industry, all right? The 3rd way by which you can play in the real estate space is by being an investor, and everybody has to be an investor if you must create wealth and even retain that wealth, okay? And the 4th way is by being a realtor, which is by way of connecting buyer to seller, and this is the cheapest way by which you can play in the real estate space in Nigeria, right? Is by far the cheapest. And even if your intention is to become a developer, then by starting out as a realtor will give you understanding of the route to market, and then you can backward integrate into actual development. Now, please understand this. Whichever way you want to play in this real estate space, it's important you understand these various pitfalls, especially if you are going to be playing as an investor or as a developer. In fact, even as a realtor, you need to understand some of these things. So today, I want to take a step further as we examine the 2nd pitfall to avoid when land banking in Nigeria. Number 2 is lack of proper research. And I want to do justice, right, to this particular pitfall. Now, proper research, goes beyond just legal and title search of the property, because if you're buying in the secondary market, it is a lot easier because that property already has a title. But if you are buying in the primary market, in which case that can happen, there is no title to search, right? Because in the primary market, you are buying straight from the community. You're buying directly from the family, all right? Or from the community, okay? And most times when you're buying from the families, they do not already have a title perfected on that parcel of land, all right? But when you buy in the secondary market, you are buying most likely a titled land, all right? You are buying a land that already has documentation, all right? And when the property already have a C of O, has a registered survey, or has a governor's consent, whichever one it has. So that point, you can conduct some degree of title search. But you see, the intelligence you require to conduct a proper research and due diligence goes beyond just the title search. There's also the cultural intelligence that is required to be able to conduct proper research. Now, listen to me carefully. There are people who have bought land and have had to buy it again and again. We've bought properties in the past where we have paid for the same property thrice, right? On account of our own integrity, on account of our own reputation, right? People bought from us on account of integrity, and we cannot tell them stories, right? And that's why the process before you buy, and these are some of the reasons why people don't even just want to have any dealings with landed properties, all right? But you see, you just need enough awareness, all right? And you need enough cultural intelligence, which is why people buying from a reputable company like ours is one of such smart steps to take to protect yourself, all right? Now, let me quickly give a little understanding of the kind of proper research you need to carry out. Number 1 is the communal research. You want to find out which family has interest, and among these family members, how many family trees exist in that family that also have interest in that parcel of land. All right, this is so important, particularly when you are buying from the primary market. If you're buying in the secondary market, you still need to carry out the due diligence of that community where the land is located. All right, so this is so important. This is so critical, right? It goes beyond, this is so important, especially if you're buying landed properties in Nigeria. Number two, proper research you must carry out, apart from the communal cultural intelligence gathering you need to carry out, is the legal title search of that property. Now, beyond just saying, let me have the title, you also want to pick the coordinates of that parcel of land and send it for charting, or send it for a search. So you chart the land and then send it for a chart. This is so important. A lot of times people ignore all of these things to their own peril. So even if you are buying from a reputable company and the company didn't carry out their due diligence, like we also did not do so at the early stage of our business, right, you may become a victim. Now, not every organization is capable of delivering value at any cost, right? But we hold our own integrity so dearly, we would rather lose money than lose our name. We will pay the ultimate price as long as it doesn't take our life, because we need our lives to be able to deliver to these clients. All right. So it's important that you recognize that even when you are buying from a company, it is not out of place to engage the services of a lawyer to verify the authenticity of that parcel of land. We've seen cases of landed properties that carry title, but those titles do not belong to the particular location. So you need to chart that particular land just to be sure that, well, it tallies with the title document that you were given. So don't just take title and say, oh, it has C of O, and then you go to sleep, or it has a gazette, or it has governor's consent, and then you go to sleep. No. Even if the government confirms that this title is authentic, you want to be sure that that title belongs to the parcel of land that you want to buy. This is so important. This is so critical, and that's where the charting exercise comes from, and then the search exercise follows after. So the charting is essentially you pick the coordinates, like 3 or 4 locations, 4 points around that particular parcel of land, and then you send it, to a surveyor, maybe in the surveyor general's office or in a land bureau. Now, these are some of the steps we often take. We do a lot. We were in the land discussions recently, and I was still sharing with them. I said, see, we are an institution, and the destiny of many are in our hands. And we would rather that we don't deal with you guys than deal with you and then we don't get the best of value for our own client. Because at the end of the day, nobody knows the family. Nobody cares who the family is. It's our name that's out there. This is so extremely important that you carry out. So if you are representing the interest of your family, you want to go into land banking. Land banking is a very good venture. It's a smart way to really build up capital for future projects. It's a very, very smart way. Somebody said to me recently and said, if you missed Ikoyi and you missed Victoria Island, you missed Lekki, you don't want to miss Ekpe. And I smiled. In the same Ekpe, there are people who have also entered one chance. So you still want to carry out due diligence, proper due diligence, right? Underground due diligence. If I show up in the same community where we are acquiring massive expanse of land, it is very easy for them to identify me, but I need to use other avenues, to carry out and get intelligent information to make quality decisions. And so you can tell who has interest. Again, the part of the title search is to verify government's interest in certain territories. Now, for those who are buying land because it is cheap, listen to me carefully. Cheap does not necessarily mean it is profitable. It's only disaster waiting for manifestation. Now, this is so important. Most times, the landed properties that you are buying so cheaply are essentially because those properties are under government acquisitions. Those properties, they are agric, they are for agricultural purposes or forestry use. And there are many people who have gone in that direction. So you will hear all sorts of offers that may look so good, so juicy, but you will realize at the end of the day that, see, this does not necessarily protect. So cheap does not also equal value. It's important to pay attention, and that's why charting the land helps you to know what is government's interest in that land, right? So when you carry out the search, after picking the coordinates, you will find out exactly what is the status of that land. Now, let me also make it abundantly clear. We have a very callous, it's rather unfortunate, but we have a very callous government agents. And sometimes landed properties that have been charted, right, that were free from government acquisition, 1 year later, 2 years later, we find out that those same properties are now under government acquisition. So we found a way around it. This is one of the reasons why as a company, as an institution, we don't joke with this. Now, the idea for you is not to sell to you. The idea of this video is just to help you understand what step you must take as an individual when investing, especially if your goal and objective is land banking. Now, it is not a bad strategy, it's a super strategy. And especially if you are buying, when you understand the direction of development, you understand government's presence, you understand exactly government's master plan, you go ahead and position ahead of the full manifestation of that plan. And that's essentially what land banking does for you. And even if your goal is to buy and resell later, or your goal is to buy and build later, or your goal is just to buy to keep as a container of value, you just need to carry out this proper research. Make sure you carry out cultural intelligence gathering, communal investigation. You send underground spies just to find out who has this, who is this person. You mention names, you throw some names around. There are so many things that we do that helps us, to get all the relevant information before we go ahead and make massive investments in land banking ventures. The reason some people are no longer interested in anything Nigeria, especially when it comes to real estate, is because many people have really gotten their fingers burnt. But listen to me carefully. These are many of the things. There are a lot more that we do that I can't even begin to share on this platform. I want to believe that this has been helpful, and this has, shed a little light on what you must do to improve and to minimize or avoid losing money in your land banking ventures in Nigeria. So till I come again on this platform, please always stay inspired till you succeed. Bye for now.